Watch this entire docket of Judge Stephanie Boyd of amazing cases
They say
with us
that
and comment
knocks on
about
the
your
door
favorite
or
verdicts and
whatever.
judgments of the judge.
No. Who's here on Anthony Villarreal?
Charles Gold, Your Honor.
Yes, that's at 1:30.
Where's
your client?
He's like, yeah, I thought we were here this morning. Judge, I'm sorry. Right, yeah. Yes. And also I have a ALR at 1 and a dentist appointment at 2:30.
Oh, that's just what they're doing. That's not. In ranking, this is first. Have your client come up.
Ellie's here, my daughter. You saw the closing right there? That's cool. Choose. My 16-year-old's here.
Oh. Well, then we need to meet her.
Okay, of course, sir.
She may still have it.
All
I
right.
don't know.
So, you all are saying this case is going to resolve itself?
It may. It's.
I gave him some new
They gave
information.
New information yesterday, and it's something that I feel that I need to probably get to the end of it.
All right. So, when is this going to happen?
Next 30 days.
All right. So, this is what I'm going to tell everybody. I'm setting it for disposition. If it's not worked out on this date, you all are going to jury trial. All right, Ms. Ferguson, I need a 30-day reset.
Yes, ma'am. I'll do July 10th. Judge.
All right, July 10th.
Let me double check. It should be a good judge. If
Oh,
not,
it's good.
we get to Cleo. July the 10th.
Oh, beautiful day. All right, thank you for dressing appropriately for court. Once you sign the reset form, you're excused.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, I'm wide open that day. You want to meet Miss Ellie?
Yes.
Miss, you got all dressed up for you today, Judge.
Hi. How are you? You too? You know what? You should have argued your dad's motion. That would have come off better.
I think so, probably so. A lot sweeter for sure.
So what are your plans? Are you just hanging around him?
I want to shadow him so I can see what it's like. I want to go to law school and be a lawyer like him.
Oh,
Yeah.
so great. Is he paying you today?
Lunch.
For just,
No.
log hours.
He should be paid. Excuse me. I need an employment attorney. The father is working his daughter without paying her.
Right?
Hey, you better give her a good meal. If he doesn't give you a good meal, let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
But you're welcome anytime. And if you want to, the jury's out deliberating right now. But if he were to be found guilty, they're deciding to come to me for punishment. So there's no punishment phase by the jury if they were to find him guilty. And then after this, we have a sentencing case with Mr. Blomquist.
Didn't sit and watch us. Yeah, you'd like this. Yeah.
Yeah, so
You like-
come anytime.
So you decide the punishment.
Yes, if they were to find him guilty. And then this case, there was a plea agreement. So then I decide punishment on that as well. They have witnesses to present to the court.
Interesting.
And then
Oh my gosh, that's
oh, you look great.
Thank you, Judge.
Sure. Thank you. Have a good day.
it's nice to meet you.
You too.
Hi.
All right, Mr. Blomquist,
Yeah.
are you ready?
Yes.
And do we, I can't see over my thing.
Anthony Villarreal. Slide.
Bill, make sure you speak loud enough for the court reporter to hear you.
We're back on the record in 2025 CR 001990, State versus Emilio Lopez. And can I have parties reannounce?
Rick Pena for the state of Texas.
Larry Bloomquist for the defense.
All right, and Mr. Blomquist, you have begun your
Yeah.
opening for the court.
Yes, Judge. I just want to clarify for the court. So my client was in a relationship with the victim. They had been in a lot of a dating relationship. That relationship had gone south. My client was very distraught about that. He went to her home to talk with her. I believe the evidence is going to show he didn't have any intent to commit any act of violence against her during that. She opens the door. She's very upset to see him. She starts to yell. Things get out of control. He does push his way into her apartment and does commit burglary. At some point, she's yelling and he falls on top of her. It's a really regrettable situation. I think the evidence is going to show that Mr. Lopez is taking full responsibility for the actions that he did that day. I believe he understands that what he did was wrong, and then also think the evidence is going to show that this is out of character for Mr. Lopez. And now I'll just call my first witness.
All right.
Can I call Emily Lopez?
All right. You'll need to step that way.
She needs to stand up. Yes, lady.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
It's
All right. You can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Emilio Rodriguez.
All right. Make sure you keep your voice up so that I can hear.
Okay.
All right. Defense, you may proceed.
And how are you related to Emilio Lopez?
He's my little brother.
Okay. And what's the age difference between the two of you?
3 years.
And is he the youngest child in your family?
Yes, sir.
And how many other siblings do you have?
One older brother.
And where did you grow up? Okay. What kind of kid was Emilio as you were growing up?
He was a lot. He was very active, very fun. He was very well liked by his friends and our family. If we have younger siblings, we all love him a lot.
I think you told me that he was kind of a quiet kid, but all the kids in school liked him. Can you describe that for the court?
Yeah, so he's very active at home. In school, he was more on the quiet side. But even then, even like that, the other students would always follow him around and his opinion, and just like the teachers would kind of use him to guide other students in a way.
Okay. And then your mom did she have epilepsy?
She gets seizures.
Okay, so she would have seizures. Tell me about how Amelia would react when your mom had seizures.
Well, the first time it happened, he was by himself. He took care of her on his own. But then after that, it was me and my siblings there. But he was a lot calmer, and so he was able to help guide me and my older brother on what to do to help her in the situation and to make sure everybody was safe.
Okay. And that was something that he kind of did whenever she would have a seizure. He would kind of step forward, even though he was the youngest.
Yes.
The last couple years, so what city do you reside in?
Bryan, Texas.
And at some point, did Emilio come to live with you in Bryan?
Yes, 2 years ago.
Okay. And so when he came there to what was he doing in Bryan?
He was working and trying to get college hours so he could apply to be a firefighter.
Okay. And when he was going through this program to become a firefighter, are you aware that that's no longer an option for him now because of the felony charge, felony arrest and all that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then was that something he really cared about, was trying to become a firefighter?
Yes, sir.
As far as work, where's he been working since he's been there in Bryan College Station?
He worked at Lay's Pizza. He was a shift lead there, I think. And then he was also a shift lead at a barbecue.
Okay. And is it true that he won Employee of the Month multiple months during the time he was working there?
Yes, sir.
During the time that Emilio was going through this breakup, did you notice a change in his behavior?
Yeah, he was a lot more, I don't know, like reserved. He spent a lot of time in his room. Didn't really interact with us that much anymore.
Okay.
Can you keep your voice up, please?
And was he really hurt when the relationship ended?
Yes, sir.
And is there anything you want the judge to know before she decides the sentence of Emilio?
We just care about him a lot, so. and I recognize he made a mistake, or he has owned up to it.
And that's something he's been doing throughout this process is taking responsibility for what he did.
Yes, ma'am.
And has he expressed to you that he's upset about how his actions have affected the rest of the people in the family?
Mhm. Yes, sir.
And how has he done that?
Well, he's told me outright that he knows that he shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have put her in that situation, but also he recognizes that we've been affected by it as well.
Okay. And if the judge were to grant Emilio probation, do you have any doubt that he would do everything he could to be successful in doing that? I'll pass witness.
Any questions?
Just a few questions now. I couldn't hear a little bit at the beginning, but you said he's your little brother?
Yes,
And how far apart are you guys in age?
3 years.
3 years, okay. You're aware that he was in a relationship with the victim in the case? Do you know how long they were dating?
Year and a half.
Do you know if this was his first relationship ever with the girl?
Yes.
First one, okay. Do you feel that men who do what he did to a woman should be properly punished? No further questions, Your Honor.
All right, thank you so much.
We'll call.
All right, before you call your next witness, because I'd like to get to the point. This is my understanding. You can come back. This is my understanding of the facts of this case. How old are you? 22. And at the time this happened in 2024, you're maybe 21.
Yes, sir.
All right. So what I'm hearing is that you were in a relationship with someone. Your sister testified that this is the first relationship he's ever heard. Does anyone doubt that this was his first relationship?
At this point, I don't have any doubts about that.
All right. So he's in a relationship with somebody for a year. And if my reading of the facts are incorrect, let me know. He's in a relationship with her for a year. They end up breaking up. According to police reports, they're either breaking up by text or phone. And then sometimes they would get back together, then break up again and get back together. He's in College Station. He finds out that during the relationship that maybe he wasn't the only person she was dating. I'll put it that way. So for some reason, this 21-year-old drives all the way from College Station to San Antonio. How long a drive is that?
About 3.5, 4 hours, Your Honor.
3 and 4 hours to talk to her about the breakup of their relationship, and he wants to get back together. So he comes back to the apartment. In the apartment is the complainant he was dating, the complainant's sister, and the sister's boyfriend. Now, they say that he knocks on the door or whatever. No, he enters the door with a key because he had made a copy of the key, which she didn't know he had made a copy of the key during their relationship. She sees him opening the door or whatever. He ends up entering the habitation, which anytime you enter a habitation without permission, any parts of your body or whatever, that becomes the burglary. And then he is talking to her, pushing her back to the room, want to talk about the breakup of the relationship or the facts that she maybe was untrue to him. They go into her bedroom. He's pushing her towards the bedroom. Police report, he wants to talk to her. In the report, she says that he has a pocket knife. The officer says, he questions him. He says, yes, I do own a pocket knife, but I never displayed a pocket knife. He never left the apartment. The police don't find a pocket knife in the apartment or a pocket knife on him. Is that correct?
Yes, I believe
To an
so.
yes, but there's,
But I mean, there's no pocket knife ever found. Did somebody find a pocket knife?
as an officer of the court, I can say I've spoken to the victim and her sister, and a pocket knife was found by them underneath the victim's bed in her bedroom.
All right. Did somebody call the police and say, hey, you didn't do a proper search? There's a pocket knife underneath the bed?
I believe they did that after the fact, no.
All right. So
And let
according
me
to
just add one thing to that, Judge. When he's asked, I think the police officer asked him because after the event, he sits on the stage stoop and waits for the police to be called. And then when the police officer comes, I think he told him that he had the pocket knife always, that he uses it for his job, but he didn't use it in any way.
Oh, no, I mean, I'm just going by
Yes,
what
sir.
the police
Yes, Your
report
Honor.
says. Police report says suspect, that's you, stated he did have a pocket knife on his person, but never displayed or brandished the weapon to the victim or other persons in the apartment. It should be documented that the pocket knife was not found on his person or inside the apartment. So now let's get to the point. State is silent, which means they want me to determine whether or not he should go to prison or whether or not he should be placed on deferred adjudication. Does the complainant want him in prison? Does anybody know?
She's right here, Your Honor.
You want to ask her?
Can go ask.
And this is just something for me to consider. It's not saying I'll send him to prison. It's just for me to
No,
consider.
I understand, Judge.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a reasonable.
Victim would like prison.
All right. All right, I'll hear the remaining of your witnesses.
Okay, Your Honor, I call him Emilio Lopez Sr.
All right. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth or nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. Make sure you keep your voice up because I have to hear and the court reporter has to hear. All right, if you'll state your name for the record.
Emilio Lopez.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
And how are you related to this other young Emilio Lopez?
It's a good son and trying to make a good life.
Okay. And where did Emilio grow up? What city did he grow up in?
Broadview.
Okay. And then prior to, and what kind of child was he?
So just a second.
Yeah.
So it would help if you don't turn
Yeah.
towards the defense
Oh.
counsel because you're turning your back
Yeah.
to the court reporter.
Yeah.
All right, if you all want to speak closer to the court reporter, you can. I
Yeah.
can hear you from over here.
Okay. Yeah, just keep your voice up because there's always, just when you have 20 people in a room, there's always some shuffling. What kind of child was he growing up?
A good son and trying to get a good life.
Has Emilio ever been in trouble before? Has he ever been arrested for any crime prior to this?
No.
Has Emilio consistently throughout his young life, has he consistently worked at different jobs?
James and Broadview and then in Bryan, Texas.
Okay. And if he is granted probation, would he have a place to stay there with you in either Brownsville?
Yes, in my house.
Okay. And would you also, do you believe that he would follow all rules that the court gave him and do everything he could if he was given orders by the court to follow those orders?
Yes, gonna do it.
Okay. Has Emilio in his entire life, has he ever shown any acts of violence or any time has he been a violent person?
No. No.
Is there anything you'd like to tell the judge prior to you entering the sentence in this case?
Well, he has sorry. He made a mistake and he's gonna be a good boy and good son, like every time.
I'll pass witness at this time.
Any questions?
Just a few questions.
Well, I mean, you state you're silent. So if it's has something to do with any facts that are in dispute,
Not the
then
facts. I'm just going to ask about questions that he was testified to with his relationship with the son, if that's okay. Okay.
I mean, unless the defense has no objection. Yeah, that's fine.
No questions then.
All right, I have some questions. Excuse me.
sir.
Yeah, I have a few questions for you. So, first of all, these are not mistakes your son made. These are choices. He chose to get in a vehicle and drive, right?
Yes.
From College Station to here. So, were you ever aware of his relationship with the complainant? Did you all ever discuss his relationship with the complainant?
I asked him sometimes how was your relation, and he said it was a good relation.
So you're somebody that he can come to or could come to if there were relationship issues.
No, you never told me about because
No. I'm talking about in general. Do you and your son have a close relationship? Because the defense has called you,
Okay.
hopefully, and I think he's calling you because you have a close relationship with your son.
Yes. Okay.
He said he's 22 years old, so you've known him for 22 years. So what is your relationship like with him? does he discuss with you any relationship issues he's having or any other issues he's having with his life?
No, no, just we talk a lot about the jobs and the school and all that, not the relationship.
All right, so my question is then, did he ever speak to you about his relationship with the complainant in this case?
No,
Did he ever ask you any advice about his relationship with the complainant in this case?
no, it just I would ask him how was your relation, and he said was a good relation.
Okay, all right, thank you so much for coming down.
Thank you. And Your Honor, at this time I call my client, Emilio Lopez.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Emilio Lopez.
All right, you may proceed.
So Emilio, throughout this process, let me back up. So have you been working, let's talk about right before this happened. So you were going to school. What was your goal to become?
My goal was to become a firefighter, and if that didn't work out, I wanted to pursue a career in either IT or join a trade.
Okay. And you were also working at various restaurants during this period of time?
Yes.
And during this period of time, were you being promoted at these restaurants to like supervisory roles?
Yes, and Blaze Pizza, I was a supervisor now, and they were in the talks of making me assistant general manager, but I had to quit due to a toxic work environment.
Okay. And then also when you eventually worked at a barbecue restaurant and you were hired on as a management trainee, is that correct?
Yes.
But that company then failed?
Yeah, it went under.
It went under, okay. And then are you going to be able to be a firefighter now because of these charges? Is that possible for you anymore?
Unfortunately, due to my choices, those doors we've closed.
Okay.
But like whatever happens after this, my goal is to still go to college and pursue something that I can do.
Okay. And then the victim in this case, how long were you guys in a relationship for?
I believe it was 2 years, either a year and a half.
Okay. And when this relationship ended, was that emotionally disturbing to you?
Yes, it hit hard, really badly. It was very, I was very distraught.
Okay. And during this time when you were distraught, at some point were you kind of off again, on again for a while?
It was only once. After the breakup, I decided to just work on myself. And I believe it was in October, she reached out to me saying that she wanted to get back with me, and I accepted.
But she continued to message you during this period of time after the breakup?
Yes.
Okay. And at this point, when you actually decided to go to her house, what was your intentions when you were going to the house?
I wanted to discuss, again, I found out that during our relationship, our second time getting back together, she was, I guess, cheating on me. She was doing things behind my back with other people, and I felt very betrayed and just ashamed.
Okay. But the purpose in driving from her house, well, first of all, let's talk. Did you have a key to her house?
I did. When we got back together, I asked, like, hey, like, is it okay if I can stay over, find a job, earn some money, and then go back to college? Because the job in College Station, since it was near the end of the semester, a lot of students left, and there wasn't any jobs to go for. So I asked her if it's okay if I can live with her.
And how long did you stay with her?
I believe it was 2 weeks.
And during that time, you got a key to her house. Is that correct?
Yes. We first discussed, because I went with her to get a key, and it was at Walmart, but the key thing didn't work. And the next day, I just went to get another one without her, because she was at work.
Okay. But during that period of time, you were actually staying at the house for those 2 weeks full time.
Yes.
And was it your intention initially to stay longer than that?
By the end of I'd say like I would go home next year when my second semester started.
Okay. But initially, you were going to be there for longer than 2 weeks. Is
Yeah.
that correct? Your plan initially was to stay there for how long?
I'd say I think I stayed there till or
Not how long were you there? How long did you plan to be there when you were staying there?
I'd say 2-3 months.
Okay. Why did you leave after 2 weeks?
I discovered so when we were together, we were both comfortable with each other, like taking our phones. You know, sometimes she would take my phone and just do whatever she wants with my phone. And I discovered that someone was messaging her, and I saw, and it was an unknown name.
Okay.
And
That's why you left?
yes.
Okay.
And that's when I found out.
When you
about
were going there, was it your intention to hurt or scare her?
that. No.
What was your intention when you got to the house?
Well, it was to discuss, like, as to why she did that to me, and if it was what we had, like, if it was genuine.
And why did you decide to do that in person or rather than over the phone?
Because in the phone, she would just not text me. She would ignore me, and I kind of I just wanted to discuss as to why she did what she did.
And how did you actually get into the apartment?
I believe she opened the door, and that's when the fight occurred.
When she saw you, she was upset, correct?
Yes,
Did she start yelling?
I believe so.
Okay. And you did push her into the apartment, correct?
Yes.
And then at some point, were you trying to hurt her at any time inside the apartment?
No.
Well, again, why were but you guys were in physical contact, correct?
Yes.
And at some point you both fell down?
Yes. I believe it was in her room. From what I know, I tripped on something because usually her room is very dirty, and I think I tripped either in a piece of clothing or just something that was near my foot.
Okay. I mean, and then her sister's boyfriend came and grabbed you, is that correct?
Yes.
And then what did he do to get you out of the apartment?
I believe she had me in a chokehold, and he just dragged me outside.
And then when you got outside the apartment, why did you wait for the police?
I believe if I left, I believe they would take it as me fleeing the scene, so I decided to just stay there.
Okay. And were you honest with the police officer about going into her apartment and things like that?
Yes, I was.
And I mean, you understand that this would be scary for someone entering their house without them inviting them in?
Yes.
Okay. And how do you feel about that, the fact that you scared her?
I feel awful because then, even though I feel like I was wronged, she was still a good person, and she just never deserved what I did.
Okay. And I mean, are you willing to take all responsibility for what you've done? I mean, this whole process, you've been pretty honest about what happened. And are you willing to take, I mean, you obviously understand that you're responsible for doing this. Are you willing to take full responsibility for that?
Yes, I do.
And are you asking the judge to put you on deferred adjudication today?
I would like to, but I would also understand the other option.
Okay. But if you're given the opportunity to stay out on probation, will you make the most of that opportunity?
Mm-hmm, yes.
And what will you do to make the most of that opportunity?
First, if I do get deferred adjudication, I would try and attempt to get a job, pay my dues, and then pay the amount of debt that I have to my family.
Okay. And I'll pass witness at this time.
Any questions?
Yes, Your Honor, I believe you went into the facts of the case, so I can ask questions.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Mr. Lopez, you testified that you went to the victim's apartment that night, correct?
Yes.
Were you invited by her?
No.
So this was your choice? Okay. When you got to the apartment, you mentioned, actually, no, before that, you said that you had a key to that apartment. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And you said you made that key with her permission?
Yes.
She knew the whole time you had a key to her apartment.
He didn't know, but I assumed.
She didn't know.
I guess, yes.
She didn't know you had a key to the apartment that you made on your own accord.
Yes.
Okay. And when you got to the apartment that day, it was your intention to use that key to enter the apartment, correct?
I did, but I decided not to.
You did not to. Okay. So then you met her at the front door, correct?
Correct.
She opens the door because she's wanting to go about her day that day, right?
Correct.
And you forced your way in with her into the apartment, correct? You pushed her all the way to the back bedroom, correct? There was a scuffle the whole way from the door to the bedroom, correct?
Yes.
Are you aware that you hurt her physically?
I believe so. Yes.
Are you aware that you scared her substantially?
At the time, I did not.
Well, it would be reasonable for someone in her position to be very scared from what you did to her, right? Okay. Now, you said that the last thing is that you're wanting to take responsibility for what you did,
Yes.
and you understand that responsibility could include going to prison?
Yes.
No further questions from me.
Right.
Just argument, Judge.
Well, I have some questions.
Sure.
All right. So about this key, you were saying that you assumed you had permission to copy the key.
Yes, because I still had it.
So why did you assume? I heard part of your testimony where you were saying, or correct me if I'm wrong, did you say that you went with her to make a copy of the key, but then something happened and you all couldn't do that?
Yeah, it was the day I came to San Antonio. She gave me the key and we both went to Walmart to go to the key thing, to copy the key, and it wasn't working. So we decided to just leave, and the next day I went to go pick a copy of the key.
Okay. And then my other question. So before this happened, how was your relationship?
I would say in my opinion, it was good. Obviously, there were some arguments here and there, but other than that,
Was there any prior violence?
no.
All right. Any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right. So here's the thing. State is remaining silent, and I have to make a decision on whether or not I think prison is the right place for you. When I was in the DA's office, and I would have third chairs or second chairs sit with me, when we were looking at indicting cases, before I would take a case to the grand jury, I would do my own investigation. Because I tell my students this as well. This is your job, right? Hopefully the police are doing their job. They do a thorough investigation. And then the stopgap from somebody getting indicted, right, is the state is supposed to do their job, do their investigation. It's not supposed to be like, okay, the police said they did this. I've read the police report. It appears that they did this. So therefore I'm done. Let me just take this indictment. So whenever I was in the DA's office, what I would do is I would read a police report and look at all the facts in it. And then I would be curious. And I would always tell people, sometimes the questions you have nothing to do with the price of peaches, but then sometimes you may see that, hey, this has to do with the price of peaches, and these are questions that need to be asked. And then my next thing would be is I would then reach out to attorneys and I would say, hey, this is what I would be willing to offer in this case, because I would speak to persons who were sitting with me. I said, okay, we've done our investigation. We believe that this person has committed an offense beyond a reasonable doubt. Then your job as a prosecutor, because you're supposed to be doing justice, that's what's in the code. Prosecutors are not to seek convictions, they're to do justice, right? So then I would ask the person sitting with me, I said, your next question before you even consider taking it to the grand jury, what is the end game? What do you think is justice? Do you think this person should go to prison, or do you think they should have probation? If I felt they should have probation, I would reach out to the defense attorney if they had one at that time and say, hey, I've done the investigation on this. Think this person should have probation? Are they willing to come to an agreement? And then sometimes I would say, hey, this person deserves to have prison. I would reach out to the attorney. This is what I'm offering. And whatever I offer it, if I was saying the offer is 5 years prison, if somebody would end up going to jury trial, and sometimes people would get upset with me, they go to jury trial and they would be found guilty. And you know what I'd do? I'd stand before the jury during punishment and I would ask for 5 years because that's what the cases were. I would never do this thing where, okay, you want a trial? You go into trial? Fine. I'm no longer offering 5. I'm going to ask this jury for life because to me, the case is worth what it is worth, for want of a better term. So in your situation, I don't have a crystal ball, right? I understand that you're young, pardon the expression, dumb, in a new relationship, driving all the way from College Station because you believe the person that you're in love with was unfaithful to you. And I try to tell young people, all of these relationships, some of them will last forever. Some of them are crazy, like Romeo and Juliet. I never understood in my school why people were gaga over Romeo and Juliet. I'm like, this is some stupid nonsense where they're killing each other because they're in love. And then when I did my research and discovered how old they were, I was like, oh my gosh, didn't their parents say anything about this relationship? So my question is whether or not, for me, is whether or not you should go to prison. The state is silent. So the state is not telling me yes to prison or no to prison. So I got to figure that out, right? And this is what I am going to do. He's saying that there has been no previous violence in this relationship. So that's what I have to go with because I don't have any other evidence before me that suggests something differently. So here's your choices. These are the only choices you have. Don't come to me with a separate choice. People say that in my court, probation is very difficult. I try to give people the tools they need to be rehabilitated so they won't be back before another court or that I'm passing the problem off to society. So you have a choice. Your choice is I can send you to prison for 2 years, or I can place you on probation and I'll place you on probation for 8 years. And that's deferred adjudication. Those are your two choices.
I will go for probation.
All right. So, and here's the thing with that. I've seen a lot of cases that have come before me, some cases that are worse than yours. Sometimes people are offered deferred for cases and I don't understand why they were offered deferred. But this is where we are. So this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to sentence you to 8 years deferred adjudication. There's to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. There's to be no contact with the complainant. That relationship is over. You don't have any children together. You don't have any property together. There's no need to call her. There's no reason to text her. If accidentally you receive a text message from her or phone call, that number should then be blocked. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
It's over. And don't get into any other relationships until you work on yourself. Because the fact that somebody may be unfaithful to you or somebody doesn't want to be in a relationship with you anymore shouldn't send you into a spiral. There is to be 200 hours of community service restitution, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And then if he obtains a higher level of education or trade school certificate, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. Let's see what else is happening. There's a $1,500 fine that will be probated. Probation, is there anything else?
Field visits, judges, monthly anger management.
Thank you. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. Anger management. And is he currently in Bexar County?
No, Judge. Right now he's residing in Bryan. Is that still correct?
Yes.
But is your intention to move to your father's house? Is that correct, or are you planning?
If I Yes, my father's house.
And that's in Brownsville, Texas?
Yes.
Which county is that?
I believe it's Cameron County.
All right, so are you in Bryan for school or something?
Yeah, I was going to Wayne College.
He was going to school, Your Honor, but then what happened is because he picked up these charges, he couldn't proceed with that program because of his arrest. But his intention to roll, I talked to him earlier today, it's his intention to re-enroll in school. And I think he also wants to get a job at the same time, so.
All right, well, they won't do, you don't need a transfer, I don't think, to attend college. So the court will do anger management, a transfer to Brownsville with his father, and he's allowed to attend college. Your client needs to fill out that.
Thanks.
Anything, I know you're silent, but are there any other conditions you would request?
Maybe a tap eval and
All right, tap
just to get
evaluation.
that.
All right, thank you. Tap evaluation out of custody, follow recommendations. Did you review the trial court certification of defendant's rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it? Because it's plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. You better start making better choices. And let me explain something to you. The state was offering you a cap of 5 silent. You decided to do deferred adjudication. From here on out, everything you do, you need to ask yourself, could this result in me potentially going to prison for 20 years? If the answer is yes, don't do it. If the answer is maybe, don't do it. So you had your liability limited to 5 years. Now your liability is potentially 20 years in the prison. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you. Is there
Victim impact statement. Yes,
All right,
ma'am.
if you stand over there. All right, you may proceed. He needs to sit and wait for probation. And Cindy, let me know when you're ready.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to verify with the plea bargain.
Who's here on Jacob Jesus Leal? Thank you so much. It's one of those days.
Thank you. Oh, yes.
And his cases still have not been indicted, correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
Have you spoken with the state?
I have, Your Honor.
So did they give you an idea?
They weren't, they asked me to request that it be sent to grand jury, that they're not sure. 3 of the 4 cases are victim cases that they'll have to reach out, and then one of the cases is still pending labs.
All right. All right, so what's going to end up happening? Who's the prosecutor on this?
I spoke to Ms. Galloway.
All right. Oh, Ms. Galloway, so on this case, there are not going to be any more settings in court until it's indicted.
Okay, thank you, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Mr. Banks is the intake prosecutor, and he is in the process of collecting the evidence, and I did double check on that, so thank
All
you.
right. So the next time you'll be in court will be if these cases are indicted and you'll receive a card in the mail. You need to make sure that your appropriate and proper address is on file. Otherwise, it's going to be sent somewhere else. And a warrant's probably going to be issued for your arrest if you don't show. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, tell him he's gonna go to trial in his. All right, how are you? Oh, thank you. All right, Camaria, who's that? Hi, how old are you? All right, so there are consequences for choices. When a jury comes up this afternoon, you're gonna be in trial in those clothes since you didn't want to dress.
Judge. Sorry, was that Renee? Can you-
Yes.
Yeah.
So- Okay, all right, thank you. See, Jason, I'm trying to teach 18-year-olds there are consequences for action.
It's in Washington, Memphis.
All right, Norma, on Leal. Ah. All right, who's here on Tiffany Martinez?
Tiffany Martinez?
All right, so she's scheduled for jury trial today.
Yes,
All right, 1:30.
we're not ready. We do have a motion to continuance on file.
All right, Jill, if you can have them pull the motion for me, and then I'll take you up.
Okay.
Who's here on Jalissa Cerniel? All right, Jonathan De Hoyos.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning.
Sean Brown from Mr. De Hoyos, we're ready.
All right, is this an application?
It is for deferred recommendation.
All right, probation, this is an application. Where's your client?
Please. Coming up.
Nobody wants to approach with their attorneys anymore. What's going on?
I guess he wants me to take the deal and be on probation for 6 years.
All right, that could be it. That's it. We didn't got one. All right, court is calling 2025 CR 003498 State versus Jonathan De Hoyos. Could I have parties announced?
Jason Gearhead for the state, Your Honor.
Sean Brown from Mr. De Hoyos, Your Honor.
And are you Mr. De Hoyos? Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. De Hoyos, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We do, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
I believe we are, Judge. Okay, thank you.
Did you review the admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand you're charged with evading arrest, detention in a vehicle as a third-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses. The state would call in the right to remain silent. By entering this plea, you were giving up those rights. Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I believe he does.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
I believe he is, Your Honor.
Mr. De Hoyos, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. This is to be run concurrently with the case from Guadalupe County, and it's case number 231390CRC. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense?
That is our agreement. Yes, ma'am.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Excuse me, Your Honor?
Have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There'll be a TAP evaluation and 200 hours of community service restitution. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? You need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
Yes, Your Honor. State Exhibit Number 1 with office attachments.
Judge, I've reviewed that with my client. We have no objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
We'd ask to waive the PSI, Your Honor.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Judge, he accepts responsibility. Obviously, we're here today. He's working. He lives with his family. He's got a good support system. Understands he made a terrible mistake and choice, and we're asking him to follow the agreement that we have with the state.
All right, how old are you?
23.
All right, why are you doing this?
It was a bad decision.
Why are you making bad decisions that could perhaps result in your death and other people's death?
Hanging out with bad people.
Now, if I talk to the person who was the passenger in the vehicle, if he were before me charged with this offense, which he can't be because he wasn't driving, but if he were charged with this offense, you know what he'd say? I was hanging around with bad people, and I'd say, well, who are these bad people? And you know what he would say? You are. And in the big scheme of things, you're the one who was driving. Did he have a gun on you making you drive? So you're the bad person, right? You still have a chance to change your ways. How did you get to court today?
Truck.
I'm sorry?
My truck.
All right, so what I can tell you right now, today is the last day you're going to be driving that truck. You know why? Because as a condition of your probation, I'm not going to allow you to drive until you complete the defensive driving course. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And after all of this happened, you live with your parents?
Yes.
They didn't take the keys to your vehicle and say you're not allowed to drive because you're not responsible? So I'm gonna do it. All right. Are you employed?
Yes, ma'am.
What do you do?
Auto detailing.
All right, you're gonna have to take the via bus or get an Uber because you're not allowed to drive. Do you understand? Use words, okay.
And Judge, that's until he takes the definitive driving class and provides certificate to probation.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And there's gonna be regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. And when you're drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
Positive.
For what?
For no drugs.
I'm sorry, what?
For no drugs. Alcohol.
Just alcohol, he said.
Oh, just alcohol?
I don't do any.
Well, I mean, what are you going to be positive for? Speak now, forever hold your peace, because you will be tested today. So what is it going to be? If you use earlier this morning, if you use before I'm placing you on probation, that's not a violation of your probation. If you use after, it's a violation. So what are you going to be positive for? Your attorney wasn't with you using drugs. You were with whomever you were with. He doesn't know. So what are you going to be positive for?
I mean, not down, drink, smoke, or anything like that.
So you're saying when I send you to go do a UA, you're going to not be positive for any drugs? You need to use words.
No.
So you're going to be negative. All right, I'm going to want a UA today. And if the UA is positive, what's going to end up happening is you're going to go into custody and you're going to do a TAP evaluation in custody. You understand? All right, so there's to be a UA today. If he's positive, then you'll report back. Well, you're going to have to report back to court anyway. So if you're going to be positive from the testing, you need to make sure that your parents or somebody can pick up your truck for you. You understand? So there's a UA today, no later than 1 p.m. There's to be the defensive driving course. $100 hours of community service restitution. If you obtain some sort of trade school certificate or higher level of education, the community service hours will be deemed satisfied. There's to be no contact with I saw his name.
Gilbert Latta, Your Honor.
Thank you. There's to be no contact. Thank you. With Gilbert Lara. Field visits 1 time per month for 6 months. And it is to be a $2,000 fine. That will be probated, concurrent with case out of Guadalupe County, number 231390CR. They're asking for 6 years deferred adjudication. You want to speak to that?
Yeah, Judge, I would ask that he get the 4. You know, I think 4 would be sufficient under the circumstances of this charge.
All right, 4 years deferred adjudication.
Thank you, Your Honor.
You're welcome. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, just 1 moment. There's to be a TAP evaluation out of custody if the defendant tests negative. If positive, then the TAP evaluation will be in custody. And there's to be no driving after June 10th, 2025 at 5 p.m. All right, I'm sorry. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. You can't be racing through the city like this Fast and Furious, because even that, when they have controlled movement, people still are injured, and you're not a professional. You could have killed anybody. Your passenger could have been killed. And if your passenger would have been killed, you know what? The state would have been looking to file charges. You understand? Or I should say, receiving charges from the police. And this would have been more than just an evading arrest and detention in a vehicle. All right, good luck to you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, James Weed. No, I'll do. All right, thank you. All right, Tiffany Martinez.
You used my full name. It kind of scared me.
James Weed.
Yes. Put the middle name in there. I'm in real trouble.
Step all the way up here to the left line. Make sure you speak loud enough for the court reporter to hear you.
All right, who's the prosecutor on this? All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 008238 State versus Tiffany Martinez. Could I have parties announced?
Jason Gearhead for the state, Your Honor.
Jim Wheat for the defense.
And are you I'm sorry, and are you Miss Martinez?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you're scheduled for jury trial today. Defense, you filed a motion for continuance?
I have, Judge.
Yes. And
Yes.
what is the reason?
It is something at this point, we are looking into the relationship between the two co-defendants further. Information has come up over the last week that I need to go into further, just to get not just her thoughts on it, but also outside resources.
All right, and State, do you have an objection to the motion for continuance?
No, Your Honor.
All right, the motion for continuance will be granted. And then what we will do you have an idea of what's a good setting for you all to agree on, a setting for jury trial? Mhm. All right, so then counsel, what I'll need you to do is I'm gonna either need you to Zoom in. The coordinator had a meeting that they had to attend. Well, you know.
Can I email her?
No, this is what I'll do. So you can leave. I'm going to set this for a date. And then that will give you a chance to look into what you need to look into.
Okay.
And then this will be the date that you come back to get your jury trial setting. All right, thank you. All right, so I'm going to have you come back on July 21st.
Okay.
And that will be at 9 a.m. And it will be to obtain a trial setting.
Okay.
All right, once you sign the reset form, bring it back to me, please.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Yes. I'll take care of it.
You want it back to you or to the clerk, Judge?
Oh, to me. Did you take your copy?
I haven't yet.
Oh, yeah, take your copy.
Okay.
Oh, you're back, Norma?
Yeah, I gotta go in a minute.
Okay.
I'm just gonna leave her a message.
This will work just fine. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You would want to. Did y'all take it out? Sorry. I was just giving them a notice.
No problem.
Mason, Washington.
All right, Marco Marino.
Mason, Washington. Yes, it was on a sexual assault case.
And counsel, we'll just put on the record his finances, so there's no need to discuss the motion. I just need his finances for the record. Court is calling 2024 CR 006824 State versus Marco Marino. Can you raise your right hand for me, please? I'm sorry. Defense, state your name for the record.
Christine Brown on behalf of Marco Moreno.
And state you're not needed for this hearing. And are you Marco Marino? Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? You can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
Marco Moreno.
All right, when's the last time you were employed?
Indeed, it's March 11th, 2023.
All right. And do you have any bank accounts,
I do.
any savings in your bank account?
No.
So they're keeping it open even though you don't have any money?
I think I still have. I'm not sure.
All right. The last time you reviewed your account, how much money approximately would you say you had in your account?
Less than 50.
All right. And has there been any family members who put money on your commissary?
My mom and family.
All right. Do you currently have money on your commissary account?
I don't know. I don't know.
All right. The last time you checked, how much money did you have on your commissary account?
56 cents.
All right. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Deputy Laura, we're finished with Mr. Marino, and they'll give you a copy of this in the back.
Okay. What is the ruling?
Oh, I'm granting it.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Sure. All right, who's here on Barry? Marquise Barry. And is there an application?
Yeah.
Court is calling 2023 CR 3465 State versus Marquise Trayvon Barry. Can I have parties announced?
Megan Galloway for the state.
Angela Blake, attorney for Mr. Barry.
And are you Mr. Barry?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Barry, did you review the document entitled True Bill of Indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Judge, we move to proceed on the lesser included offense of possession of marijuana, 2 ounces to 4 ounces, the Class A misdemeanor.
Any objections?
No objection.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Did you understand the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense of possession of marijuana, 2 ounces to 4 ounces as a Class A misdemeanor? Range of punishment is up to a $4,000 fine and up to 1 year in the Bexar County Jail. If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Barry, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea?
No, ma'am.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his rights to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on the lesser included offense. They're asking that your punishment be assessed at 18 days in the Bexar County Jail. There's a $500 fine. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
And did you sign it in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions? Then to the lesser included offense, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
State offers states one in attachment.
No objection.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waiver and stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. One moment. And let me continue to review. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
We ask for time search, Your Honor.
All right, the court will find you guilty, sentence you to 18 days in the Bexar County Jail. Give you, there's a $500 fine, time and money to rank concurrent, and the court will give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am. I have 2 along the way.
All right, and what are their ages?
3-year-old and 9-year-old.
All right, so let me just tell you this. A 3-year-old and a 9-year-old should not be driving around in a vehicle that smells like marijuana. Now, your 3-year-old and 9-year-old, do you love them?
Very much.
How much do you love them?
Everything in me.
All right, so how long have you been in jail?
Leaving.
All right, so is marijuana worth you spending a week away from your children? So you're gonna have to make changes. And before you transport them around in your vehicle, you need to take that vehicle, have it detailed. It'll probably cost $365. Have it detailed and have that scent removed, because their brains are steadily growing and you don't want it to be impacted by marijuana smells, right? And you don't want the 9-year-old feeling embarrassed if people at school know that his father is using marijuana, because children know what it smells like. And I know people say marijuana is no big deal, but in Texas, it's still against the law unless you have a prescription. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Now, when you're released from jail, if you need anything, if you can't kick using marijuana, if you come back here and I'm here, I'll help you find a place that can help you. All right? All right, good luck to you.
Thanks, Judge.
Who's here on Chase Lopez? So,
So, Your Honor, I was going to say good morning, but I think we just passed that.
we have passed that. So many things happened today.
Yes.
All right, so where are we on discovery?
I believe that we have all of the discovery. I'm double checking with the medical records that The state has, just double checking, they're the same that have been uploaded. We have conferred and received an offer. We'd like some more time. As you can see, my client is a little on the younger side, and so we'd like to really weigh the options of the offer that the state has given us against the evidence and risks associated with trial. So if we could get 30 days, Your Honor, that would be wonderful.
Okay, how old are you, sir? All right. See, now, when we say that other people are younger, that, I don't know, that's saying something about my age.
Yeah.
As we get older, when you're in your 20s, you think somebody in their 60s, oh my gosh, that's all. But then as you approach that, you're like, no, 60 is not all. Yeah.
I take it back. Yeah, no.
All right. So what I will do is I'll recall you for July 29th.
29th? Yes, Your Honor.
And that will be your plea deadline date. So once you sign the reset form, you can be excused. And I will give you a copy of the reset to sign, and then just return it back to me, please.
Understood.
I don't know why they would have a court coordinators meeting during the daytime.
Yeah, around lunchtime.
I'm just throwing that out there.
They can coordinate court dates, but not their meeting.
Hey, I didn't say that.
I know, I'm joking. Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I'll get it right back to you.
All right, thank you. What page is Lopez on?
I don't know.
Oh, I found it. That's okay. Who's here on Roger Blanco?
Your Honor.
Good morning.
Sure.
Yeah, good afternoon. Yeah, we're going to be here, and then once lunch arrives for the jurors, we're going to take our recess.
Sounds good.
All right, so you were recently appointed.
Yes, this is our first appearance.
No gum chewing. I would love to be chewing gum right now.
This is our first appearance, Judge. I'm working on discovery, and we will see what we can do next setting.
All right, I'll set this for discovery June 22nd. I'm sorry, July 22nd. Is that good for you?
Beautiful.
All right, I'm going to give you the reset form, and once you sign the reset form, please return it to the court.
We will do that, Judge.
And counsel, did you get on his case that is the first degree? It's a PF case.
Yes.
All right. And we'll just set it for discovery, counsel.
Okay. Thank you, Judge. Return that.
All right, thank you. All right, who is here on Dina Acosta? Yes. All right, are you all ready to proceed with sentencing?
We are, Judge.
I'm sorry, just one second. Do you need a copy?
Oh, no, Your Honor, I didn't. I just wanted to make sure you knew before we could be excused.
Oh, yes, you can be excused.
All right,
so
thank you,
much.
Your Honor. All right, you'll have a good one.
All right, the court is calling 2024 CR 0075532, State versus Dino Acosta. Could I have parties announced?
Jason Gearhead for the state, Your Honor.
Scott Simpson from Mr. Acosta.
And are you Mr. Acosta?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we're here for sentencing. The court ordered that half of the restitution be paid before sentencing. So has that been completed?
We have, I believe the court got a copy of it too. This is my client's copy.
Sure.
He paid $8,000 today. Andrew signed off on it.
Okay.
So that was the amount that was in the plea, 8,000 of the 16,500.
Okay.
And it has been paid. He still owes 8,500. He knows that, which is part of our argument as to, because it's an opposed plea, Judge. So that's part of our argument as to why you should grant probation.
All right, so the total restitution is 16,500, but he paid 8,000 of that, correct?
That's correct. Right.
All right. I saw where you had wrote on that form that he owes 10,000. I'm like, is my math off?
That's for us.
Okay. Oh, sorry.
We
Yeah.
haven't been asking him to pay us because we wanted the restitution.
Excuse me, Mr. Green? Is Mr. Green here? You know that was from. Well, you know what movie I'm talking about. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, let me find the plea bargain agreement. All right, you entered a plea, and according to your plea bargain agreement, the state is opposed to your application, and restitution was to be to Andy Heidrich and Rocky Hill Equipment Rentals, and there's to be a $2,000 fine. State he's made an $8,000 payment. Are you still opposed?
No, Judge, in lieu of the fact that he made $8,000 and showing improvement on that, the state would be recommending a probation there period.
All right, are you recommending the deferred? Because he's requesting deferred.
A good conscience, I can't recommend deferred on this, Judge. The reason being is just because of the history.
We applied for both, Judge, and just an abundance of caution. He does have felony convictions already. I do need it's the person that is owed the restitution is Hector Gabaldon. With the equipment that was stolen was received back by the aforementioned people that you talked about. It just he sold it to Hector, and the Hector had to return it to those people.
All right.
So Hector's the person getting the restitution.
Okay. All right, this is what the court will do. The court is finding you guilty. The court will sentence you to 10 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 8 years. There's a $2,000 fine. That will be probated. There's to be restitution, if any, to Rocky Hill Equipment Rentals. Is that the appropriate person, counsel?
Put that down just in case, but they already said they didn't have restitution, but then we need to add Hector, and the last name is spelled Gabaldon. He's the one who's actually out money, Hector Gabaldon.
Right, so Andy Heidrich is not owed any money?
No, they got their equipment back.
That's the individual, I believe, with Rocky Hills, Judge.
Okay. All right, so I put down Rocky Hill Equipment Rental, so if something pops up, then it will still end up going to the owner, Andy Hendrick.
Thanks, Judge.
So the court will note that the defendant has paid a total of $8,000 up front. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Acosta.
All right, so Mr. Acosta, based upon the restitution amount, at sentencing, I was told that restitution amount was $16,500.
Correct.
So you paid the $8,000. So what's due is $8,500. How much are you able to pay per month towards the restitution?
I could do anywhere between $1,000, if that is.
All right, so here's the thing. This is what I tell people. I just want to know what the amount is, and whatever you say the amount is. Of course, if you tell me $20 a month, I'm going to say absolutely not. But whatever the amount is, that's what I'm going to put in this order. So if it's $1,000 and you're 100% sure that it's going to be $1,000, then I'm going to order you to pay $1,000 a month towards restitution.
Understood. Well, in that case, $500 would be sufficient. That way I meet up to my expectations.
All right, he's to pay restitution in the amount of $500 per month. Proof of employment. within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. There's to be the theft course, a $2,000 fine that will be probated. Field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. 200 hours of community service restitution. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person, and regular random UAs. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
Yes, Judge. So as far as the restitution to the Rocky Hills individual, according to the PSI, they're not requesting any type of restitution. Also, Mr. Acosta indicates, and I think the court is aware that he travels for work. I just need something to put in his conditions, giving him permission for that.
He works as a welder out on one of those deep sea rigs.
All right, so I'll put the defendant is allowed to travel for work. And then there's no restitution then to Rocky Hill equipment. So the only restitution will be to Hector Galbaldo.
And Judge, I just want to confirm, Mr. Acosta, when he does travel for work, he goes everywhere and he's gone for an extended amount of time. Is it okay that I make sure that that's in there?
Yes. Is there anything else?
Nothing further from the defense, Your Honor.
Anything else you need from the court?
I just want to say thank you for the opportunity. I know I did make a mistake, a bad decision. I don't want to call it a mistake. It was the decision that I made, and it was a bad decision overall, and I'm paying for the consequences, set my family back. But we're looking to do better. And I do want to say thank you to the state as well for giving us this opportunity. We'll know we were first.
Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, I did.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
All right, do better.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Well, thank you,
Thank
Mr.
you.
White. You have a good day.
Who is here? Marcus Butler.
Walkway clear, please.
All right, counsel. What's happening with Mr. Butler?
Yes, please.
The state has given me all the discovery in this case, Judge. I have an appointment with him this Friday to go over everything.
Okay. All right. How old are you, Mr. Butler?
I am 46 years old.
All right. I'm going to set his plea deadline date for July 22nd. Let me give you a reset form. Once you sign it, bring it back to the court.
Thank you, Judge.
You're welcome. All right, who's here on Curtis Wilson?